Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Drashana here to talk about some friggin' books. I'm doing what I think is an incredibly old tag, at least the video that I had saved in my Tags to Do playlist is from September of 2018, and it was from Miss Mara at Books Like Whoa. This is what I do with different tag videos that I see that I'm like, oh, I could do that someday. I just save them to my Tags to Do, and then some of them I apparently never do. But I just felt like doing a tag. I haven't done one in a hot second, and this one sounded fun. I have not really looked at the questions other than the first couple, and I don't know what my answers are gonna be. And I think the original tag, it was created by A Book Olive. So this is the Under the Influence of BookTube tag. So it's a lot of questions about being influenced by BookTube. Who would have thunk it? First question is, what is a book that you read off of the recommendation of another booktuber? Or oppositely, or alternatively, what is a book that you were talked out of reading because of another booktuber's review? Fantastic book that I read off the recommendation of another booktuber. So many. So very many. Well, I mean, does it count if it wasn't a direct recommendation? Because like Ring Shout, Mara actually, and Ashley, geez. I forgot the name, Ashley. Wow, Drashana. From Don't Have a Degree in Reading. They both talked about Ring Shout very positively. That made me want to pick it up, but they didn't necessarily directly recommend it to me. I'm trying to think of a book that someone directly recommended to me. Oh, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Ingrid, my friend Ingrid at Ingrid Inspired, she recommended that to me directly. I'll go with that one. A book I was talked out of reading because of another booktuber's review. There's been a couple, but of course now I can't think of them. I guess I can't think of one. I know there are some where just someone reviewing it and I'm like, that actually doesn't really sound like something I care about. Number 2, has BookTube opened your mind or changed your mind about any specific genres? I'm trying, I guess maybe romance, because I never really read romance before. I mean, I read books that had romance in them, of course, but I didn't really read, and I don't read a shit ton of romance now, but I don't know, I think it's opened my mind to it a little bit more, and more like understanding the genre and understanding the different subgenres within romance and what might work for me and what might not. I definitely think I've gained some of that knowledge from BookTube for sure. Number 3, how much time did you spend on YouTube before BookTube, and how much time do you spend on it now? I still spent a fair amount of time on YouTube before Jenna Marbles. I was real big into Jenna Marbles. I've seen all of her videos. I love her. I hope she's doing well. But I wasn't really big into any particular community on YouTube. Now I watch a lot of Sims community videos. Lil Simsy and Plumbella are my faves. I never was into like the beauty community or anything. I would say I watched YouTube, but yeah, not a shit ton. I watched reaction videos for sure. So that was probably reaction videos to Game of Thrones. I was on YouTube for that for the most part. Now I'm on it all the time because from being on it more, on BookTube more, you know, I discovered the Sims community and different kind of other just random comedian skit YouTubers that I think are funny, things like that. So yeah, I'm on it too much. Number 4, how many books did you read either per month or per year prior to being on BookTube, and how many now? Definitely less. I would say before BookTube. I mean, it also depends on what time period of my life we're talking about. Childhood, God, I don't even know, probably 200 or more a year when I was a kid, because I was literally just reading all the time and they were all little chapter books. But then in college, I didn't read so much because of school, and it took me a few years after college to get back into reading. When I did get back into reading, I probably read 30 to 45-ish books a year maybe. Now, about 75 or so, 75 to 100 typically is what I do now. Number 5, has BookTube affected your book buying habits? And if so, are you pleased or displeased by this? It definitely has. Prior to BookTube, I had probably 2 bookcases worth of books, if that. And now I have 4. They're not all totally full, but they're pretty full and getting fuller. I'm not necessarily displeased by it. You know, everyone has their own book buying habits and what works for them. Some people don't want to own any books. Some people want to own every book they've ever heard of ever, even if they don't know if they're going to like it and aren't going to read it for years, whatever. And hey, to each their own. Everybody can do what they want, is how I feel. I'm very fortunate now where I have a little bit more financial freedom in my life, slightly more disposable income. Books are readily available to me being in the United States and being in a city that has great used bookstores as well. So all of those things add up to me having a decent amount of books, not a shit ton compared to some people. You know, it depends on who you compare it to, right? I'm fine with it. It's what I like. I like owning books that I'm going to reread, books that I think I'm going to enjoy. So it doesn't bother me. Number 6, has a review by a booktuber ever made you retroactively change your stance on a book? I think yes, but not like, oh, I hated this book and now I love it, or oh, I loved this book and now I hate it. But more, you know, especially if it's a book where own voices reviews are important, I will definitely check out, like if the book is directly about the experience of a marginalized group of people, I will try to find own voices reviews to see if I missed anything egregious that I should have talked about, or the way I talked about it or the way I thought about it, was it completely off base because of my experiences? You know what I mean? So there might be times, I can't think of a time right now, but I'm sure there have been times where I've listened to an own voices review and been like, oh, yeah, I didn't even see it that way. Like, you're right. Yeah, like shit, I missed that. But nothing, like I said, where I'm like, I hated this, and I'm like, now I love it, or I loved this so much, and then just because of someone else's opinion, I'm like, now I hate it. That's never been the case. But I could change kind of my perspective on it a little bit based on own voices reviews. Number 7, are there any videos you've been inspired to make after watching another booktuber's video? And or have you ever felt inspired by another booktuber's style, their video style, their book organization style, personal style, anything like that? I mean, obviously I've been inspired by other people. We all are. And I don't want to get up on a soapbox right now, but I might. I don't like when it seems that people have a superiority complex because they do unique and original content and everybody else is stale and boring and just doing the same standard content. Like, kind of just like fuck off with that, because we're all inspired by each other. And too many times I see people not having what I think is kind of proper etiquette on BookTube, on YouTube. If you see a video someone else did that inspired you, fucking mention it. Mention that other person. Mention, oh, so-and-so did this and it inspired me to do this, so here's what I'm doing. Or if you just straight up are doing the exact same video as them and you're aware of it, say, hey. And anytime I'm not that original and creative with my content by any means. I don't try to be, I don't pretend to be. There's far more creative booktubers out there. But there have been a couple times where I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool idea to do. And if I think it's an original idea, or I think it's something that hasn't been done before, a quick search on YouTube will tell you. And it will tell you, like, and that's what I mean. I don't like it when especially big creators say, well, I didn't know that someone else had done this already. You can't use the search bar? I get that you don't see every video, you don't see all the content all the time, you're not subscribed to everyone. Completely understand. I'm not saying you should just have this knowledge in your head, but it doesn't take very long to do a quick couple keyword search, try it a couple different ways, see if someone's already done this. And if they have, and it's a pretty unique idea, fucking mention them. You can still do the video. You don't have to like never do this video because someone else already did it. Just mention that you got inspired And that, oh, by the way, this person has done this one already too. Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just not that fucking hard. It's not that hard. We're all inspired by each other, consciously or subconsciously. And it's just not that hard to, you know, give people some recognition. Anyway, video style and stuff. I think we're all inspired by that. Not one particular person, I wouldn't say, but just different people, like their editing style for sure. I've seen stuff in videos. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. I should do more of that. But it's not something that one particular person does. It's stuff I see like a lot of people doing, and I just like the editing style. Again, though, I'm not like the most innovative, exciting editor either. Number 8 is, what are some pressures you feel on your reading life because of being on BookTube? Honestly, none necessarily, other than obviously if I sign up to do a buddy read, there's an obligation there and there's a little pressure, like, oh, I gotta read this now. So I would say that's the only time I really feel pressure, is if I'm participating in a bunch of readathons, which I stopped doing a while ago, if I am doing a bunch of buddy reads right around the same time. That will definitely make me feel pressure because I'm such a mood reader. I just kind of want to read what I want to read when I want to read it. So that's really the only thing. I don't feel any other pressures though. 9, in what way, if any, do you feel that the social element of the community has affected your reading or impacted your reading? I definitely think being more aware of different issues, being more aware of what am I trying to say? Offenses, insensitivities to marginalized communities, things that could be harmful, could be problematic. I've definitely learned more about that by being involved in the community on Twitter, which sometimes we all know is a bit of a dumpster fire, but also I learn a lot of shit on Twitter. I do. I don't think I'll ever totally delete Twitter for that reason. And I try to just keep it, you know, talking about books and silly stuff and my cats and whatever. Every now and then, though, I'll jump in on a topic. But usually I try to keep to myself, recently anyways. But yeah, I enjoy the informative aspect, following people, engaging with people in the community who have different life experiences than you. Twitter, I mean, you see people's conversations with each other. You see what's important to them. You see the things that matter to them, the conversations that they think need to be brought up, the discussions that should be brought up because of their experience as a marginalized person, and so on and so forth. And I mean, we all could stand to be more aware of these things, I think. And following people on Instagram or on YouTube, subscribing to people, having a more diverse subscription feed has definitely helped and impacted my reading because it's made me more aware of these things and more aware of putting in the effort to read more diversely. So yeah, I think it's a positive thing. Oh, the secondary part to that question was, do you think about books differently since joining? So yes, based on all of that, yes, I definitely do. I will notice things that I know I wouldn't have noticed 10 years ago. Number 10, what influence do you hope your own channel will have on the BookTube community and or on aspiring booktubers? I mean, I don't know, I hope people get something positive out of my channel, I guess. I hope the way I talk about books makes people feel like reading more and makes people feel like reading more diversely and thinking about that. Just in general in life, I hope that I influence people or inspire people to be their authentic self and live their authentic life, what works best for them and their life, and just be who you are and be okay with that and be happy with that. On BookTube specifically, doing your own thing, doing what works the best for you and your channel, and not worrying about all the other shit, not trying to fit into a mold that doesn't feel natural to you, not trying to stand out in an inauthentic way, you know? Just be authentic, be genuine on BookTube and in life. I don't know if that's what people would get from my channel, but a girl can dream, you know? That is the final question. Thank you so much for your time. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.